Hi everyone, Dr. Z here, and good morning. I am so excited for this week. If you are here and you're seeing this live, I want you to drop a little comment in, say hi, say what you're most excited for this week too. I want to make sure I'm going to cover everything you need to know so you can double your no charge consults. Now, I don't mean double them like in general, maybe someday, maybe in 2025. I mean double them this week. So that gives us 5 days to double your no charge consults, and it's totally doable. I mean, first of all, if you don't have any, this is pretty easy, right? We just need to go from 0 to 1. But if you have 10, we want to go to 20. Right? So if you have 5, we want to go to 10. So we want to double your no charge consults. So if you're watching it later, just drop a comment, say hi, and let me know what your biggest challenges are. Hi, Lizette. Nice to see you. Thanks for being up this morning with me. So let me talk a little bit about what we're going to go through today and some of the things coming this week. But I want to make sure that you're just clear on the main outcome, like what do we want? Because I know you're going to get a lot of things out of this week. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. You're going to have some transformation. You're going to have some new thoughts, some ideas. You're going to step out of your comfort zone, all of those things. But my main outcome I want for you, I want you to double your no charge consults. So just make that your mantra and let that drive your behavior this week. So that way, hey Casey, good morning. So that way, if I ask you to do something, it's out of your comfort zone, you just remember, hey, these are just the things we're doing so we can get to this outcome. We're going to double our no charge consults. Hey David, good to see you too. Okay, so here's what's going to happen today. So today we started a little early. Hi, Katie. Good morning. Tomorrow it's 9:30, and that's what the rest of the mornings are. But we'll do a live about 9:30 every morning, and there's some things I need to tell you and remind you what to do to stay on track. So if you can be here live, that's great. If not, you can see the recording later. And then we're going to be doing interviews with different practitioners. So, and time zone I'm talking about is Eastern time. So I'm talking about Eastern time. Noon today and 8:45 p.m. Two great practitioners. So hop in, learn from your peers. Really good to connect, make friends. And I really like it so that when you hear about challenges, you know you're not alone. Everyone has challenges. And when you hear about wins and success stories, you know that if you're not having that, that can be you shortly, right? And also just to hear from other people, their perspectives, things that have worked for them. Really good to show up for those. Now, the main thing is at 7 p.m. Eastern time every night, okay? So we have a date together every night this week. I have some content and some tips I want to share with you, and I want to be able to answer your questions. So please don't be shy. You can comment, you can unmute yourself and say something and ask a question. I really want to make sure, hi James, I really want to make sure that this serves you this week. James, you had a question, why am I not able to get in the meeting? This is the meeting this morning, okay? So in the morning, we're just doing a Facebook Live. I'm going to share some information with you and get you started. When I do the interviews, we're going to use StreamYard. If you haven't heard of that before, that'll allow me to interview people, and you'll be able to hop in and see it live right in the group. So everything's in the group. Just be in the group and you won't miss a thing. Now, speaking of the group, there's a couple things I want you to know. For those who are just coming, the one thing I shared so far that I don't want you to miss is the outcome for this week. Why are we doing this? We want to double your no charge consults. So if you don't have any, that means you need to get at least one. If you have 5, we want you to get to 10. If you have 10, we want you to go to 20. So whatever it is, we want you to double your no charge consults this week, okay? I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a second. First, I want you to know that I have a lovely freebie for you in the group, and it's a practice troubleshooting guide. So we call it the Ultimate Practice Troubleshooting Matrix. And whenever you have a challenge in your practice as you're growing your business, we can't really solve it until we diagnose it, right? We have to figure out what's going on. So that is designed around the 5 pillars. We all have to do the 5 pillars to grow our business. More on that later, but it helps you get really specific to know what the problem is. Let me just give you one example. Let's say you're doing consults with potential patients, trying to sign them up, and you're not getting people to sign up. Good morning, Lisa. And so you might just think, I don't know, my marketing's broken. But when we look at the troubleshooting matrix, we find out actually you're doing a good job booking those consults. What's happening is they're not showing. So if we find out, well, the issue isn't booking it, the issue is getting them to show, then we get very specific how to solve it. Or let's say you do a good job booking it, people are doing a good job showing, but then they're not signing. This is a separate issue with a separate answer. Does that make sense? So that's what that troubleshooting matrix is for you. So please snag it. That's my gift for you. I want you to have tools that help you in practice. Nothing makes my heart happier than seeing you succeed. So that's what I want for you, okay? All right, so that's the freebie. We're focused on the outcome. You understand, hopefully, the purpose of the whole challenge. This is all the groups I lead are very positive, very kind. There's no dumb questions. There's no silly questions. You never need to apologize for not knowing something or asking a question. Please, safe space. If anyone is ever rude to you in a group, they get booted out. Just so you know, this is a safe space and there's no competition. There are way more patients out there in need than there are practitioners. So this is a very positive group for you to be in, okay? So I want you to feel good about that. All right, now there's a bonus class. This week, we're very focused. We want to double your no-charge consult. And I'm going to talk about a lot of different tools to do that and a lot of online tools this week, okay? So because I'm talking about a lot of online tools, I wanted to give you a bonus class. And the bonus class is on March 10th, and it's going to be how to get new patients without social media. I'm actually super excited to teach it. I've been waiting for a while to do it because there really are so many different ways, and we can set up methods that play to your strengths, okay? We're not all the same. That's all right. So I'm super excited. I have 2 main offline methods I'm going to teach on March 10th. Now, the only thing you have to do to get to March 10th is you have to book a custom practice launch plan. So if you're interested in doing that, there's no charge to do it. Anytime between now and the end of the week, you can then be on the list to go to March 10th. No charge. This is totally free. I want you to have the tools, okay? And then tonight, I want to give you a little bit of a homework assignment for today, okay? So let me give you a little bit of a homework assignment that's going to help prep and set you up a bit better for tonight. But the main show is at 7 p.m., and I'm going to be on location, actually, where we're doing our next mastermind in April. So I'm going to be at the resort where the retreat is. So I'm super excited. I might be on the beach. I don't know. We'll see how the Wi-Fi is, but that'll be fun. So anyway, the main thing I want you to be thinking about today is something that practitioners always get confused. So if this is you, you're in good company. Don't feel bad about it. And that is, you confuse what you're going to do marketing-wise with what you do clinical-wise in practice. And they need to be related and they need to be connected, but they don't have to be exactly the same. And so here's what I mean. Let's say someone decides for their marketing message, and if you're brand new to this, think of marketing message like how you wave your flag out in the world and let people know who you are, right? Because you own your own business now. You can't just, walk in your door if you have a clinic or sit at your laptop at home if you do telemedicine and the patients just randomly show up, right? It doesn't work like that. We have to build a business and a lead generation machine that's going to bring them into us, right? So we have to do something. So your marketing message is how you start to let the world know who you are and what you're about. Now, you want that message to be as narrow and as specific and as focused as possible. Every now and then, someone goes too narrow, but it's really rare. Almost everyone goes the other way and they're too general and they're not specific enough. Now, if you want, I will look at these comments later and you can write what your marketing message is. Good morning, Tori. Welcome. You can write what your marketing message is and I will comment on it, okay? So I'm happy to give you some feedback. I know everyone's got different things they do today. They're working, they got kiddos, they're running all around. So I will be popping in here and there and seeing your comments and making sure I give you some feedback. So feel free to share that. But here's what happens. Let's say someone wants to focus on sleep. People who have sleep issues, and then they are worried, well, when I see the patient, I want to do more than sleep. You know, I'm going to work on hormones and gut health and, you know, mind-body connection and all these things. And that's fine. What I always say is, listen, they bring their whole body to you, right? They're going to bring all of themselves. And that's the wonderful thing in functional medicine. We get to look at all of it and how it's all connected. But to market all of it does not work. It's too broad. It's too confusing, right? It's, here's another example. Has anyone ever gone to the Cheesecake Factory? Have you seen their menu? It's like a book. It's overwhelming. It takes people a long time to decide. Versus if you go to a restaurant and there's like 2 or 3 choices, right? Not that hard to choose. There's only 2 or 3 choices. So you don't want to put a whole menu out there. It can have people be overwhelmed, have them turn away, and it also doesn't allow your marketing message to rise above the noise. You want to just assume that your potential patients are busy and pulled in many directions and they have short attention span. So how are you going to connect with them quickly? So you can work with the whole body and the whole person when they come to see you, and I highly recommend that. But when you market, I want it to be specific. So at 7 tonight, I'm going to share some examples and we'll do some workshopping around it and we'll talk about it. But my homework assignment for you today, what I want you to be thinking about. Now, this is a challenge, so every day builds on the next day, right? So I want you to be thinking about what is your one thing? Your one thing. Ideally, I want you to talk about only this one thing for 90 days, maybe even longer. But if I could get you to commit to just a month, I'll be happy. So what one thing do you love so much that you can talk about it for 30 days straight? Okay, and only that thing. Now when I say only that thing, if you're talking about sleep, you could talk about how GI health impacts sleep. You could talk about hormones impact sleep. You could talk about how neurotransmitters play a role in sleep. You could talk about how your environment and sleep hygiene tools play a role in sleep. That's totally fine. But I want you to pick one thing to talk about and commit to it. Give me at least 30 days, please. But absolutely for these 5 days, I want you to be locked in, okay? So that as we do each thing this day, this is what a challenge is, right? A challenge is when we come together as a group and we try to have some magic, right? We try to have a transformation and have the power of the group and that accountability when you're like, you know, you're a lone ranger, you're working by yourself and it's easy to get distracted. And good morning, Jennifer. And some days you might get, you know, discouraged, or you might procrastinate. Like this is 5 days, a little microcosm together where we're going to try to make something magical happen. That's what a challenge is all about. So we're doing this for practitioners, but keep this in mind because you might want to mimic it and do a challenge for your potential patients down the road. So always be thinking about these things for your client or patient audience also. But go ahead and comment, go ahead and tell me what is the one thing you're gonna focus on this week, and really like that is your message. So you can talk about it every which way. Let's say blood sugar balancing is the thing you picked. So all day, every post, everything you do, just drip, 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 like a drip campaign, right? You know, they say sometimes in marketing and advertising that a potential buyer has to see a message 8 times before they take action. Who knows? Some people are fast, some leap into action and they go, whoa, I see that. Lisa's my person. Like what she wrote just connects right with me, and I know Lisa's the one I'm supposed to work with. And other times it's like, I watched Lisa for a year and now here I am. It happens. So don't worry about, oh, I'm talking about it too much. You really need to get that message out there over and over again. Okay, so let me just wrap up for those who just joined, or if you're watching later. Welcome. This is day 1 of our 5-day challenge. The theme is New Patients Now. Probably one of the biggest challenges that practitioners have. Everyone focuses on clinical, which is what we love. It's our passion. It's so exciting. But getting new patients, how do you sign new clients? How do you bring in new people? This is a skill everyone needs to master. So I wanted it for all of our clients and everyone in our community. So that's why we're doing this 5-day challenge. So the outcome we're going to focus on, I encourage you to take this on, make it your goal, write it on a grease board. James, great. Mental health, wellness, good. And you can stick with mental health, but you could get even a little focused. You could maybe pick anxiety or maybe pick depression or something like that. I would say anxiety would probably be my first choice, but you know, what works for you. You want to vision board it, whatever you want to do. We want you to double your no charge consults in the week. Now let me just real quick, if anyone's new to that concept, what is a no charge consult? It's a sales call, first of all. Great, Tori, welcome. So it's a sales call. Don't be shy for that word. I know most people say no charge consults. That's totally fine. Jennifer, nutrition and wellness, great, but we need to get more specific. Nutrition, wellness, functional medicine, holistic health, happiness, all of those, they're wonderful. We want them, but they're not specific enough for marketing. And I want you to win. I want you to win. So I want you to get more specific. Lisa, weight loss will work. James, anxiety, perfect. See how it's more specific? Welcome, Claudia. Great to have you here. Okay, so I was just defining no charge consults and what they are. So it's, let's say Lisa, I was coming to you for weight loss and I'm a potential patient and I reach out and I schedule like a 15-minute no charge consult with you, and maybe you call it your your last weight loss program ever call. You know, that's a lot of words, but you have to name it something. So you don't want to just leave it no charge consult. That's boring. You want to connect it. Maybe let's say you focus on weight loss and sleep. It could be the sleep to skinny consult. The sleep to skinny consult. That sounds great. I'd like to sleep my way to skinny. I actually was in a bookstore the other day with my daughter and saw a book. It was called something like Close Your Eyes to Weight Loss or something like that. I thought, oh, they're talking about sleep and the impact sleep has on weight loss. So I thought that was funny. Okay, so no charge consults or sales calls are a wonderful tool for signing new patients. It's an audition, and we'll talk more about this tonight. It allows that potential client or potential new patient to find out, can you help them, right? Is it a good fit? It's a non-threatening way to sort of kick the tires and check you out and see if this is something that they want to commit to. And especially if you're not doing fee for service and you're selling programs or packages or membership or whatever it is, anything over $1,000, especially recommend that. So anyway, that's a tool I want you to focus on. And I tell my practitioners all the time, much, much easier to put in the effort to sign one patient for a 5-month program of care at $5,000 than to sign 100 new patients for one visit at $50. However you want to do your math, just really the effort that's involved. So much easier to do the first. Okay, let me see. Allison says she's struggling to nail hers down, wants to do gut health with detox. She has a brick and mortar, not exactly kid friendly. Okay, so I wouldn't worry so much about the space. I would think just about what is your topic. You could talk about detox, that's fine. That could work. We want it verges a little bit on the edge of having to educate people. So ideally we want to solve an urgent problem people are already aware of. So if you could pick something they're already aware of, like weight loss, and then talk about detoxification as being the answer, that would be better. Or anxiety, or sleep issues, or hot flashes, or, low mood, or whatever it is. But detox is becoming sort of well-known enough that you could do it. You just use a little bit of the edge of people being super, super aware of the topic. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to pick mitochondrial health. Too much education up front. But mitochondrial health could be part of your answer, right? So we always, for that marketing message, we always want to lead with something they're really aware of. Lisa says, weight loss is my focus. How to deal with the GLP-1 trend, called Healthier You consult. Okay, you could do Healthier You, but if you're really focusing on an alternative to weight loss, then you might want to call it like no shots weight loss. You get what I'm saying? Like really, really specific so people know what they're there for. No shots weight loss call. No shots weight loss consult. That kind of thing. Let's see. Casey says, mamas who feel unheard, unseen, dismissed by conventional medical model, whose body is screaming something is wrong, but their labs are fine, with a focus especially on gut health. Okay, so you can do that. Just make sure when we go out and market, we're marketing for some solution or result that the patient wants, or an answer, which means we're marketing for information. So that sounds a bit like what you're doing, Casey. Or we're marketing for like a transformation and accountability, like very similar to outcome, but something they want to attain that they haven't been able to. So that's really the 2-3 things that we are selling. Everything can boil down to that. So just think about how you're going to market that and try to get as specific as possible with it. Okay, Allison, good. Lisa, focus on weight loss due to hormonal imbalances. Okay, great. Okay, so we've talked about the outcome, the challenge, purpose. For those who joined late, last couple announcements, and then I'm going to see you at noon Eastern time today, is I have a bonus class for you on March 10th. So most of what we'll be talking about this week we'll be using different like online methods to double your no charge consults. So on March 10th, I'm going to teach 2 methods for how to get new patients without using social media. So 2 offline methods. All right. So I'm super excited to teach those. And it's going to be free, but it's open to everyone who's an existing client or anyone who's not a client, but they book a custom practice launch plan, which is a consult with one of our practice advisors this week. So as long as you book one of those, that class is yours. Jazzed to teach it to you. Going to be awesome. You'll get all the content, any notes, all of those types of things. And then just remember to grab that freebie that's in the group. Let's see, Claudia just had a comment before I get off. Let me see. Still undecided about a niche. Thought reducing sugar in your life, diabetes, but now thinking combating burnout, feeling less tired, getting your energy back. And keep in mind, like, picking a marketing focus, it doesn't even have to be your niche in practice. We want it to be connected. We want it to make sense. But I don't want you to feel like, oh, this is all I'm going to do in my practice. You can do all sorts of things. This is just your marketing message, your flag that you're waving out in the public. So how specific can you make that? Of all the things you say, diabetes or burnout, those are the ones that I think are the most specific and most powerful. So if you really like working with diabetes, you can do that. Just be careful. The FDA says only a drug can cure a disease. So if you're going to name an actual condition, as a functional medicine practitioner, you want to say symptoms of or support. So you want to make sure you're not making any claims that could be a problem. So I would always tell people, you know, we're just supporting the physiological response of the body. And if they end up getting better, we just go, whoa, what a great surprise. But burnout, I think, is great and powerful. So I think that's a really good one, too. Let me see. Katie's saying, I still struggle with my exact messaging. The theme is longevity, focusing on some subtleties of aging parents that aging parents may already be feeling. Usually say low energy, focus, mood, doing a lot of metabolic, insulin resistant work. So then, so we're going to talk about interviews. I can't remember if I talk about it tonight or tomorrow. So doing more interviews is helpful. But when you're having trouble focusing and it seems a little broad, think about, you know, what does that potential patient complain about who's dealing with low energy, focus, mood? Like, how is it they would say it? Or insulin resistance, like what's going on in their body? They're gaining weight, they're feeling depressed, they can't sleep, they don't feel like themselves. So try to pick one thing that's really powerful, and then the story of longevity becomes like part of the answer and part of the education. In fact, Katie, you might want to even consider, like, when the patients first sign with you, maybe, you know, maybe it's, you know, metabolic syndrome. Maybe you like doing cardiometabolic. Maybe it's more focused insulin resistance. Maybe it's weight loss. Maybe it's mood. Whatever the first thing is, maybe the next program, when they finish it, like the next level, is has to do with longevity and anti-aging, because you will have had all that time to educate them. I think it would be a very easy yes to move into the next thing. Like, they're already feeling better, they've gotten results, they now know who you are and how you work. You don't have to do as much upfront stuff because you've already done testing and labs with them. You've made this progress. I'm just imagining, like, if I'm working with you and it's 5 months later and I'm feeling so much better and you've had a chance to educate me all along, and now it's like, you know, let's hit this longevity. Like, let's do this anti-aging. Like, what can we do to not just get you feeling a little bit better? Like, we covered that. Like, now what can we do to, you know, just really master how you're feeling and feel better than you did in your youth, right? Like, I think that would be a really easy sell into the next program. So anyway, I would think about that. Okay, if you have any other questions, I want you to go ahead and post them below. I'm going to be popping in and out of the group all day, so I'll see them. I'll do my best to answer your questions. I'm going to be back at noon. We get to interview Lisa. Yay! So I will see you then. And then 7 p.m. is the webinar tonight, so don't miss that. We'll have some great live interaction, some Q&A, back and forth. Your homework assignment is to pick your one thing. If you're still struggling, we'll workshop it tonight, but I want you to have that one thing. I want you to even start talking about it right now. Like those of you that were here and had some comments, I definitely want you to start talking about it tonight. And then I do an interview at 8:45 tonight. Let's see, Sarah, welcome. Great to see you. Could I combine fat loss and fatigue, or too broad? Targeting perimenopausal women who feel fat and fatigued and use bioidentical hormone replacement therapy as one tool. So what I would do is I would probably make fat loss be your thing, and then talk about how fatigue plays a role in it, how mood plays a role in it, how being perimenopausal plays a role in it, these hormones, what are the solutions. But if you want to focus on fat loss, then make that your nitty gritty thing. And everything else connects to it. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, it's good to see you all here. Welcome. Thanks for getting up early with me. Day 1, kicking off the 5-day challenge. New patients now. New patients now. Yes, absolutely, James. They're all different licenses in functional medicine. Everyone practices up to their scope. So this is something we teach in detail, how to do it legally and make it work. But if you have other questions, let me know or talk to a practice advisor and we can help. But absolutely, I've got everyone from like triple board certified surgeon to unlicensed medical professionals and health coaches. And almost everyone, their license allows for like diet and lifestyle recommendations, at minimum from an educational standpoint. So you always want to make sure you practice according to your scope and the regulations for your state. But there's room for everyone to some aspect or another in functional medicine. And the really good news is the initials after your name determine your scope, but not your success. I've got health coaches who out-earn MDs, right? So really, you can build any level practice you want. And I love helping practitioners get to that 6-figure and then really beyond it, like get to 7 and 8 figures. It's super exciting and so much fun. Let me see, I got one more comment. Yes, Lisa. And you could decide, Lisa, do you want to be an alternative to the weight loss drugs, and or do you also want to be the safe place to do this where they know how to get off, like when it ends and it wraps up, and you can have them maintain their weight loss and continue on a healthy plan? I think if you cover both sides, that's going to be a little bit more broad for you if you feel comfortable doing that, and then that would be great for your patients. But getting weight off is so important. I teach a ton of classes on it. For my clients who are on here, FMA 5 is a good one to watch. For those who are in our program or have done something before, that special obesity class, the chemistry of food that I taught for Designs for Health, is a really good one to watch. Awesome, Lisa. I love that you're like on all sides of it. I think that's awesome. Lasting weight loss. So one of the things I talked about there, I really went like deeper into the science of obesity, and I can't teach that whole thing because it was like an hour and a half. It was a lot, right? But the one of the key points is that obesity should be treated like a chronic disease, and it needs ongoing management. So if you can really educate patients for that, it's not a quick fix or a diet and then I'm done. That's what we all want. We just want something simple and easy. But if you can really be the one who educates them and helps them on all sides of this to achieve lasting weight loss, not only are you going to really be saving their life and what you're doing for them, but you're going to have patients for life, right? This is a chronic illness. This is something that needs ongoing management. So you can have that first program where they come in, you do the intense work, you could maybe have a step down middle program, and then you could have like a program. I don't recommend people have more than 3, so usually 2, 3, more than enough. But then you could have one like a maintenance that they stay in forever. And it should be very appealing because you really got to connect it to not doing the yo-yos and the ups and downs anymore. So anyway, I think that'll be great. We have another Lisa. Welcome. So glad you're here. All right. So happy to see you all. I'll see you in just a couple hours. All right. Bye.